You ever come across vintage with like somebody's name or like numbers or something on it? Pen ink is like permanent. Like I don't even really bother with it too much, but you'll see pencil too. And I'm gonna show you a demo here of using card spray and a detail Q-tip. And you wanna be real light-handed with this. It's not, you can eat that paper up or dig it out real quick. So the key here is kind of like the mindset more than like the mechanics. What I wanna do is you wanna picture putting like a drop of card spray. Well, I'll show you so you don't have to picture it too much, but you just wanna move the card spray droplet around on that 4. You don't wanna scrub it, you just wanna move it. Like I'm not making, if I used pressure, I could dig into this card really easy. So that's not what I wanna do. I just wanna kind of move around this little drop. Just barely making contact with the surface of the card. I'm using like the card spray as, you know, to remove this 4, but I'm just gliding across it. If I got heavy-handed, I would dig right into it. So I'm gonna go outside of my normal boundary right there, just so I don't create like just a big annoying wet spot. There is gonna be a wet spot, but then I'll stop. Make sure my surface is cool. And when it comes to vintage stuff, sometimes you'll see like the Mickey Mantles or the Jackie Robinsons or the Willie Mays, you know, like the Hall of Famers will have, you know, the chances of this stuff on them more because they were, you know, the stars, not only today, but, you know, they were the stars of the day back then. So the chances of kids messing with them were higher. But like I said, the whole technique here is just barely going over the surface. Like try not to touch the card. The key is just barely touch it. Like I'm looking at this sideways right now and I'm just moving card spray just from one place to another. Just kind of, if you ever watercolor paint, it's almost like that. It's almost just gliding it across the surface without ripping up the surface. Come in there, get it dry. And I'll repeat this process maybe a few sessions, but I've just had a few, more recently I've had you guys reach out to me and say, what do you do? I got some old pencil lead or graphite or whatever on here. So that led me to go digging through my base cards, and what do you know? I can usually find it. Okay, we're coming up on about 3 minutes of doing this. I'm content for now. I wanna, well, you guys can see we're almost done. But I'm still gonna wrap up here in a second and let it dry. Let's just kind of spread this out again. We're doing well. And you know what's nice too is like a lot of times, well, I don't know if it's nice, but it is what it is. A lot of times these writing with a pencil will dig into the surface too and leave an imprint. Like I can see like the number 4 dug in here. But after this card spray treatment, all that moisture you're putting in on this indent will bring it back up too, so you'll be good to go. And I'm just tapping right now. I don't ever want to scrub on something like this, but tapping's fine. The name of the game is don't remove the paint or it's game over. Well, check that out, you guys. That looks sweet. All right, so you can see it's a little bit wet. So I'm not worried about it being a little wet. It's gonna dry. So here's what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna leave this exactly like this. Well, as you guys can see, it works out really well. You know, came out of there. about 99% of the way, but I think when it dries, it's gonna be all gone, okay? So I am just gonna back away. I'm gonna leave this just like this. I'll leave my phone right here and I'll turn it on here in a few minutes when it dries up. All right, fast forward 20 minutes later. Let me show you something. It dried nicely, so we don't have a stain. I know the card's not in the best condition, but you can still faintly see that little 4 on there, right? So I just wanted to stop right there while I still had a little bit left because I'm going to finish it off with the same process and then I'll throw up a before and an after picture. But I'm going to do the exact same thing. So if you're running the pencil, consider yourself lucky because there's a good chance you'll be able to get it out. Ink, I'm still working on it, so hang tight. But thanks guys for all the questions. I hope this helps when you run into pencil or lead on a vintage card. I'm Kurt with Kurt's Card Gear.